Back with the boys at Blade. Here we go. I've been looking forward to riding this. It's all sorts of hype and, well, not hype, there's just a lot of excitement about this bike, especially from a good friend of mine who test rode this very bike yesterday, and from that he's bought one. He is a Guzzi fan though, I will add. Okay, a bit of riding around town. So what I'm going to do, a bit of riding around town, a bit of riding on a motorway, see what it's like on a motorway. You know, check out the vibrations and all that sort of stuff, and then the usual A-road jolly. It's quite a nice torquey motor. It's quite smooth, to be honest. So 853cc. Yeah, it hustles around corners really nicely. Handles really well. Okay, straight away I can tell you it needs the bigger screen. It's okay with the small screen. You know, it's like riding more or less an unfaired bike, to be honest. But yeah, I can tell you straight away it definitely needs the bigger screen. But it looks good. I like this colour. Now obviously there's the two versions, and when you look on their website it doesn't really give you a great deal of information. But I like this one. I must admit, you know, it's going back for the old Dakar bikes, isn't it? The old Guzzi Dakar bike. You know, I like the colour. It does handle nice. It's very neutral. You know, it pulls. Yeah, the motor pulls lovely. You know, it's okay. I'm not doing any great speeds, but you know, I don't feel any vibes at the moment. A little tiny bit in the bars if I was being really critical, but nothing to complain about. Definitely nothing to complain about. No quick shifter. I don't know if that's an option. See, this is the problem we've got, actually. I'll talk about this later. I'm doing legal dual carriageway speeds, and there is a little bit of vibes. I can feel it. Tiny bit in the pegs, tiny bit in the saddle, and a tiny bit in the bars. But it's very tiny. Okay, so that's legal motorway speed. So if you're ploughing down the motorway, it's doing legal motorway speeds at 3,500 RPM. Snicks through the gearbox nicely. You do get the torque reaction. Can you see that? Let's go by this quick. Ooh, pegs down. Excuse my language. Not a lot of ground clearance. Do you know what? It's a bike to just go out and have a bit of fun on. You know, not as a touring bike or an adventure bike or anything like that, but just a bike to go sort of blasting around lanes on. This is really good. The suspension's nice, it's supple. Right, I'm going to leave it in top, and I'm going to go past this car in a second, and we'll see how it pulls from whatever speed we're doing when we get around this next corner. Okay, we're in top. We're doing 30 mile an hour. Right, throttle's pinned. Come on. Here we go. Power's coming in. Okay, pulling strong from 4. And it's just pulling and pulling now. I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with this V85 motor. You know, 853cc. Pulls along quite nicely, you know, nothing at all. I really like it. Air stroke oil cooled, shaft drive. Brilliant. I'm a fan of the shaft, especially on bikes like this. You know what, I can't get over how well this handles. Whoa, van on the wrong side of the road there. Let's chuck it into this corner. Down a couple of gears, on the brakes, scrub off a bit of speed. Oh yes. Okay, so the things I like. I like the bike overall. You know, that as a package, its mirror keeps moving. As a package, You know, the build quality looks nice. They've done a really good job, really good job. I like it a lot. The display is excellent. I know there is a mobile phone app, Moto Guzzi app, which you can connect to the display. And I did have a look, and I was going to download it last night, but it's got such bad reviews. I didn't bother, to be honest. I didn't think there was any point. But I know you can connect your phone to it. I know there's turn-by-turn navigation that comes up onto the screen. You know, so that's a nice. I mean, nearly every bike in this class now has that. So you know, they've just jumped on that bandwagon, which is good. You know, they need to. You know, it's got cruise control. This one hasn't got heated grips, but I think there's a factory fitment for them. There is a bad point though, okay, and I think the mobile phone app sums it up really. And the bad point is, unfortunately, Moto Guzzi or Piaggio Group. You know, this bike, I think they're not going to be ready for this. You know, I believe Moto Guzzi only sell, or don't sell, even 10,000 units a year. So, you know, they're not in the leagues of, you know, a lot of bike manufacturers. They are only a small company in Italy, which I think is going to be their downfall. I don't think they're going to be ready for this bike and the interest in it. You know, so if you're interested in this bike, you've got to get your money down on it, and you may get one. You know, it's one of those types of manufacturers. You know, when I was another thing that sets alarm bells off is when I was at the show last year at the NEC. I went to see the guy on the stand, and he could give me no information about the bike, nothing at all. Which, you know, you're at a show. You know, you must have some details. You know, so I don't know. You know, if this bike has got as much interest as I think it's getting, I think Moto Guzzi aren't going to be ready for it. Anyway, that's enough about that. So yeah, I think that's going to be the big stickler on this bike. If you want one, you need to go and put your money down, and you need to wait, and it's going to be as simple as that. And you might not even get a choice of colour. Anyway, there we go. But other than that, I like the bike. You know, the luggage set is a Givi luggage set, obviously because it's Italian. You know, they're all going to stick together, which is good. I like that. If you make it in your own country, that's the people to give the money to. Okay, the modes. There's 3 modes. Okay, you get off-road, road, and rain mode, and that's all changed by pushing the starter button of all things. So even though you've got a button there that says mode on it, okay, that's just to change the display settings. Yeah, so to change between the different rider modes, you push the starter button. You don't have to pull in the clutch or anything, it literally just changes. So that's something novel. The rear shock, I like the rear shock, and I like the fact that it's mounted on the side. If you've got a pillion that jumps on the back, you can get that preload stepper, get your spanner on it, and you can click it round, you know, nice and easy, to allow for the extra weight that's getting on the back, or if you've got luggage on board. No centre stand on this one, but there is an option for a centre stand. Right, top gear. You know, it doesn't rip your arms out the sockets, it's not that sort of power, but it's enough, isn't it, just to blow by. But it will sit at road speeds all day. You know, you can feel it's just ticking along beautifully at normal road speeds. Here we go again, it's a bit of a blast by. Nice and wide in the corner. On the manhole covers, yeah, it tanks along lovely. As a road bike, it's great. Okay, cruise control is nice and easy to use. The the buttons on the left cluster, you push the button in to turn it on. Push the button in and hold it to turn it on. Okay, and then you tap the button again to set it. Okay, and then you can adjust it up and down by moving the button up and down. Turn it off, you can either push the button all the way in again and hold it, turns it off, pull in the brakes, pull in the clutch, all that stuff turns it off. Don't know if you can hear the gearbox. The gearbox sounds clunky, doesn't it? If you can hear it through this little microphone, but you don't feel it in the gears. It sounds worse than the actual action is. I don't. You've got hazard lights on the right hand cluster. So Brembo brakes on the front. You know, they're fine. You get a good handful of brake. Stops you nicely. 41mm upside downers. Little bit of dive, but you could probably dial that out. So you got preload adjustment on the front and rebound damping. Same on the rear. 23 litre tank, which has a good range. It's got a USB connector there, you know, so you can plug, you know, if you've got a mobile phone or anything like that, at least you'll be able to charge it from that port there. You know what, the more I ride it, the more I like it. You know, it's not, the motor isn't going to set your world on fire, but it's enough. It's enough to propel you forward. It's enough that you're going to be able to keep your license. I actually really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. I think it looks great. Honestly, I do. I really like the look of it. Again, I understand there's a whole load of accessories for it. Like you can get the Olin shock, you know, obviously the panniers and other kit like that. But again, unfortunately, the website really isn't given a lot of information, and the dealers have nothing. They don't even have a brochure for the bike. You know, come on, Moto Guzzi, you've put something really quite special together. You know, come on, get it together. Right, quick look around the bike. Let's turn it off. Okay, I like the seat. I like that velour look. Very comfortable, actually. So, yeah, really quite comfortable. Here's a shock. Yeah, here's the preload step. As you can see, easy to get your spanner on and adjust, you know, when you've got somebody that jumps on the back. Blooming great exhaust. Obviously, as time goes on, I'm sure manufacturers will bring out all different types of pipes for these things. Now, but the build quality, I think, you know, what is this? This is £11,099, this model. That, by the way, over there is the Grand Tour test track. You know, Jeremy Clarkson and his cronies. That's where they do all their the fastest lap. Okay, right, heading back to Blade. Right, the things I like the bike overall. You know, it is what it is. 853cc. You know, V-twin, 90-degree V-twin. You know, 80 horsepower, 80 newton meters. You know, it's enough. It's enough to smoke along on the road. You know, with no problems. It's going to be low maintenance. It's going to be easy to look after. I don't like the indicator. It's too sloppy. I can't feel whether I've cancelled it. You know, you can see whether they're on or off. You know, because you've got, you know, an indicator light, but it's just not. It's not positive. This model, I wish they put road tyres on it. It should have come with a bigger screen from standard. To be honest, I think I hope Moto Guzzi are ready for this. I hope Moto Guzzi are ready, and I don't think they're going to be. Yeah, so there we go. There we have it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.